Hello everyone. In this video we are going to study method of stationary phase. In previous video we have discussed integration by parts method and Laplace method to find asymptotic expansion of the given integral. Method of stationary phase is generalization of Laplace method. It is more general compared to Laplace method. This method is also known as steepest descent and it is also known as saddle point method. So whether they mention saddle point method or stationary phase method or steeper descent method, one and the same. Now what is the difference between when we will apply stationary phase method? So we have applied integral of the form when I of x is equal to a to b f of t e power x phi t dt. Here we are having phi t. Now I will write it as xi t. If it is this form, we will apply Laplace method to find leading term in the asymptotic expansion. It means phi is a real function. If it is a complex function, using stationary phase method, we can find the asymptotic expansion. So now our integral is of the form integral of a to b f of t e power I x psi of t. Now xi is real function I into x xi of t we are going to consider. Now we are going to find leading asymptotic term, leading order term. So in previous case, in Laplace method also we have considered three different stationary points. So first point, when alpha is belongs to a comma b, t is equal to alpha is the stationary point, it belongs to a comma b, or alpha is equal to a or alpha is equal to b, right? All the three cases here also we are going to consider. First case, when the point t is equal to alpha belongs to open interval a comma b. So t is equal to alpha is a stationary point of xi of t and xi dash of t is equal to 0. So now we are considering a first case, alpha belongs to a comma b. So what is our integral? This is our integral. So we are going to use integration by parts as usual. As we solved in Laplace method, same procedure here also we are going to consider a comma b. F of t remains as it is. This e power ix xi of t, I will write it as e power x xi of t whole dash divided by xi xi dash of t. I have shown how did you get this there also. So again I am not repeating it. So derivative of this, when we differentiate this, we will get e power ix xi of t into ix xi dash of t. This two term will get cancelled. Now this whole term is our u and this is our v. Now we are going to apply integration by parts. So when we apply integration by parts, we will have f of t divided by ix xi dash of t. This is our u, it remains as it is. Integration of v. So what is integration of uv? U into integral of v. When we integrate it, what we will get? E into ix xi of t. So our limit is between a to b minus integral of a to b e power ix xi of t into v into differentiation of this. So when we differentiate it, we will get f of t by ix xi dash of t whole dash dt. So we have got integration by parts. We have applied integration by parts. Now apply upper limit and lower limit. We will get f of b e power ix xi of b minus ix xi dash of b. So this is our upper limit minus lower limit f of a e power I x xi of a. What is the denominator term? I x xi dash of a. And the integral remains as it is, and if we neglect the higher order terms, this we can write it as in. So we are neglecting the higher order terms. So this is our first case. In second case, t is equal to alpha. That alpha is our this integration by parts we will apply when we does not have stationary points in A and B. If it does not contain stationary point in open interval A comma B, we'll go for integration by parts. Whenever t is equal to alpha belongs to A comma alpha, we will integrate this as, I hope you remember, alpha minus, I'll write separately, I of x is equal to integration of alpha minus epsilon to alpha plus epsilon f of t e power I x xi of t dt, where alpha is our stationary point. In this case, our major contribution will be from first terms or from first and second term. So using Taylor series, we can write f of t as, so what is our f of t? It is approximately equal to f of alpha plus t minus alpha, f dash of alpha, etc. We are neglecting higher order terms. Similarly, xi of t is approximately equal to xi of alpha plus t minus alpha into xi dash of alpha, etc. Xi dash of alpha is 0. Therefore, we are considering till second term. When we substitute this in our integral, we will get I of x is equal to alpha minus epsilon, alpha plus epsilon, f of alpha, f of t reduced to f of alpha, e power ix, xi of alpha reduced to xi of t reduced to xi of alpha plus t minus alpha by 2 factorial into second derivative. Xi dash of alpha is 0 into dt. Now we are going to substitute x t minus alpha whole square by 2 xi double dash of alpha as yes, and e power ix xi alpha is constant because integration is with respect to t. So when we split the terms, we'll have f of alpha e power ix xi of alpha, integration is from minus alpha minus epsilon to alpha plus epsilon, e power x t minus alpha whole square by 2 factorial xi double dash. I am taking it as yes. Therefore, this becomes e power I s square. This terms I am substituting it as s square, and dt term is root 2 ds by root of x xi double dash of alpha. See, in Laplace transform itself, I have explained everything in detail. Same procedure will be repeated here also. So, I am not explaining all those things in detail. Just substitution method. I have splitted this, and this term I have substituted s square, and I have taken dt formula. That's all. Now, I am going to substitute I s square as t. So, if I substitute I s square as t, e power ix xi of alpha, and I am taking epsilon tends to infinity. So when I take epsilon tends to infinity, this becomes minus infinity, this becomes plus infinity. Therefore, our integral now becomes 0 to infinity e power minus t and ds term. root I by 2 t of minus 1 by 2 dt. I'll show you how you will get this. Since it is having imaginary term, I'll show once. I s square, I'm taking it as minus t. So what is the value of s? So when I differentiate this, 2i s ds is equal to minus dt. So what is dt? Sorry, what is ds? ds is minus dt by 2i s. So what is s? To find s, I'll write it as s square is equal to I s square is equal to minus 1, we can write it as I square t. So what is s square? Root of it. Therefore this becomes minus dt by 2i root of it. Minus 1 I can write it as I square. Therefore I will get cancelled. I am having I dt by 2 root I t. This I can write it as root I into root I dt by 2 root I into root t. So now I am having root I by root t into 2. So that's what I have written here, just by substitution method. Therefore, what is 0 to infinity? E power minus t power minus half. This is nothing but this term remains as it is. Integration of this term is root pi by 2. Root I remains as it is. See, root I by 2 constants remains as it is. All the constants will group here. Integral of 0 to infinity e power minus t power minus half dt is root 2 gamma of 1 by 2 we will get. This gamma of 1 by 2 is root pi. So this is asymptotic to, I is asymptotic to root 2. Here we are having root 2 pi f of alpha e power I x xi of alpha by root of x xi double dash of alpha into root pi by 2. As we generalize the formulas in Laplace method, here also we will generalize the formula. So I'll show the formula directly. When t is equal to alpha, it means in between values. This is the generalized form. So whenever derivative become less than 0 or greater than 0, that is our p value. So what is the only difference here? Here we are having pi by 2 pi. Instead of this term is not existing in our previous problem formula. Here we are having pi by 2 pi. Don't forget that. As usual, in first case, in the formula we are having 2 by p. Whenever t is equal to a or t is equal to b, this becomes 1 by p. So we will see some problems on finding leading order term. So here we are going to find leading order term of 0 to pi by 2 e power I x cos t. So whenever we are having imaginary term, then we will apply method of stationary phase. So here lower limit is 0, that is our a. B is pi by 2. Coefficient of exponential function is 1. Therefore f of t is 1. Power is I x cos t. Therefore psi of t is cos t. Now we have to find maximum point. Differentiated xi dash of t is equal to 0. Differentiation of cos t is minus sin t equal to 0. It means sin t is 0. It means t is equal to psi inverse of 0, which is 0. Now f of 0 is also 1. So we can proceed further. So now we are going to find second derivative. Psi dash is minus sin t. Second derivative is minus cos t. So what is minus cos t? At t equal to 0, minus 1. It is less than 0. Therefore p is 2. This is our standard formula. Just substitute p is equal to 2, a is equal to 0. f of 0 is 1, we'll get this form. Phi double dash is minus 1, modulus of minus 1 is plus 1, therefore x to the power 1 by 2. 2 factorial to the 1 by 2 is root 2 by 1 by 2. Gamma of 1 by 2 is root pi. Here xi of 0, what is xi? Cos t. Cos 0 is 1. Therefore here we are having I x plus pi by 2. This we can write it as e power ix into e power I pi 4. What is e power I theta? Cos theta plus I sin theta. Therefore e power ix remains as it is. E power I pi by 4 reduced to cos pi by 4 plus I sin pi by 4. What is cos pi by 4? 1 by root pi plus 1 by root 2 plus I 1 by root 2. When I substitute that, we'll get 1 plus I by root 2. I have taken 1 by 2 common, remaining terms as it is. So this is the solution for the given integral or leading order term for the given integral. Our next problem is having 0 to infinity to cos x t square minus t dt. So if we have to want to solve this using method of stationary phase, here we does not contain imaginary term. So I am writing this as e power I x t square minus t, real part. So what is e power I theta? Cos theta plus I sin theta. What is e power I theta? Cos theta plus I sin theta. So what is cos theta? Real part of e power I theta. What is sin theta? Imaginary part of e power I theta. Therefore, when I am having cos theta, I am considering real part. If in case if I have sin theta, I will consider imaginary part. So cos theta we can write it as real part of e power I x t square minus t. Just I have splitted this, I'll get this. So f of t is e power minus it. Xi of t is t square, a is 0, b is infinity. To find maximum value, differentiation of t square is 2t equal to 0. So when I substitute 0 here, e power 0 is 1, it is not equal to 0. So we can proceed. So differentiate it twice, we'll get 2. It is greater than 0, so we can stop. See, in method of stationary phase, it need not be less than 0 always. It can be less than 0 or greater than 0. So we are having 2, we can stop here. So what is value of p is to substitute in the general formula and simplify, you will get the answer. So consider our next problem. It is 0 to 1 cos of x t power 4 tan t. So to solve this using method of stationary phase, we should have imaginary term, right? E power I theta form. So I keep tan theta as it is. Cos theta is real part of e power I x t power 4. So here xi of t is t power 4. When we differentiate it and equal to 0, t becomes 0. But what is f of t? F of t is tan 0. Tan 0 is 0. We cannot proceed as it is. So we have to use Taylor series. Taylor series approximation for tan t is t plus t cube by 3 factorial etc. we will get. T minus t square by 2 factorial plus t cube by 3 factorial etc. But I am considering only first term because we are going to find leading order term. So just substitute here. Now t is 0. Again, what is f of t? F of t is 0. It is 0 again. So again we cannot proceed. So I am going to use substitution method here. I have to cancel this t. So I am going to substitute t square as u. So differentiating on both sides, 2t dt is equal to du. And when lower limit t is 0, u is 0. When t is 1, 1 square, u is also 1. So substituting all this thing in the integral. Now t will get cancelled. We are reduced with this form. Now this is a standard form and we can solve it easily. Now f of u is 1 by 2 constant. Lower limit is 0, a is 0, upper limit is 1, therefore b is 1, xi of u is u square. Differentiate it. 2u, u is 0, f of 0 is 1 by 2. We can proceed. If we differentiate again, differentiation of 2u is 2 itself. And when we put t is equal to 0, we will get xi double dash of 0 equal to 2, which is greater than 0. Now we have to apply our formula and we will get the result directly. So this is our general formula. So this is case 2 because t is 0, lower limit is 0, alpha is 0, therefore it is second case. So here 1 by p we are having, substitute the value of a and p, we will get the final result.